Hey everyone, this is Stephen. It's the 19th of October, and here in the UK the weather is really starting to show it. In fact, if you'd have been here yesterday, watching yesterday, you'd probably struggle to hear me over the rain. That is, however, a great time of year to be talking about bots. In a lot of cases, they're going to be used as a marketing tool in a retail context in the run up to Christmas. So we're probably going to see, or I predict that we're going to see a flourish of them in the next couple of months. So, an official welcome to Floexo's Getting Started webcast, where we'll get you up and running with Floexo with an introduction to its key features and benefits. Before we get into the webcast proper, a quick shout out to our hashtag #WhatTheBot. You can follow #WhatTheBot on Twitter and keep up to date with all the latest bot news, and we'll be looking at all of the arising bots and all the news stories that are coming out. So it's a really good source of information and inspiration, so we can keep up to date with the latest way to leverage a bot in your business. Next up, so let's have a look at some of the emerging bot news. There's just two major stories that I think are worth mentioning this week. First, over in the US, we have the Go Vote bot. And who can forget that first presidential debate? Let's just take a quick look at that bot. I've been playing around with it today, as you can see. So what does this bot do? Well, it gives you information on where you can vote in the US presidential election, and even lets you register to vote. Even if you're in the UK, it's worth looking at. It's a really strong, simple and powerful use case. I can see bots for public services becoming more and more common. Perhaps you're looking for an idea for your own development. What public service could be better served with a bot? A little closer to home for me over here in the UK. This bot is messenger based again. There are some other clones that I've seen that are SMS based. Plum actually requires an invite to sign up, so if there's anybody watching, I'd love an invite to get signed up. What does this bot do? Well, they aim to help you manage your money by taking small amounts of your cash from your bank account that you don't need at the end of every month, and they put it into a savings account for you, and they help you manage your finances, otherwise make transfers and give you balance updates. Again, simple stuff. What could you do? Well, search out #fintech. Fintech's one of those buzzwords, but it's very big for us at the moment on the tech scene. You could think about what finance bot you'd like to build. How can you benefit our growing financially connected universe? Okay, let's get on to building. By this point, you'll have signed up for a Floexo account and you'll have connected up your messenger bot. You may have started building out some of your flows already, which is great. If so, you might consider turning them off for this session though, please, so they don't interfere with the ones that we're going to build. Just a quick reminder, what is Floexo? Floexo is a complete platform for building, hosting and managing chatbots for messaging platforms such as Messenger, Slack and Telegram. It's also the future of business messaging. As you can see, it includes a visual editor to build bots without code. Everything is driven by a set of flows, which you build with certain tasks. You're going to see this in a few minutes. You can create and distribute your own bots, which are owned and branded by you, but controlled and hosted by Floexo. I'm running this cast live so that I can maximize your time and provide everything you need to get started right away, right in this session. Let us solve any queries or give any guidance you need right away. There's live chat in the YouTube window. I've been talking to one or two people already. So by all means, get talking to the team and I over on the right. Down to business. Let's go over to my desktop. So my example business for today is the bot store. The bot store sells a range of bot requirements, memory and computer chips, of course bots, and they have a Facebook page in place. Just a little bit more context. The bot store simply want to communicate with customers better. They want to provide a more engaging experience, divert basic queries away from the resource-intensive phone line, and ultimately sell more. So let's put a bot in place that helps them achieve that. If you got my email, you should have your bot in place by now, a Messenger open and ready to go, as well as Gmail, Google Sheets, and of course Floexo. Let's just take a closer look at that setup. Floexo, ready to go. I have Gmail. I have Messenger. and I have Google Sheets. Now I'm just going to let you take a look at this sheet. You do need a sheet that's set up similar to the one that we have here. So we should have a one column response path, one that is name, and one that is quote, word or phrase. We do also need just one line of data in the sheet there to make everything function correctly. Now, like you, hopefully, at this point, I've already got my bot in action here at Messenger. When I first connected him, I had to click Get Started, and he said hello. But he's not going to do very much else yet, so let's change that. So here we are at the flow dashboard. Let's consider what kind of flows we want to build to meet our objectives and the features that we will look at. So first of all, we're interested in general bot conversation, asking questions and providing a rich content experience to the end user. We are interested in using the attribute service to track information about a customer who interacts with the bot. We are going to look at using FlowXO's 94 and counting service integrations to superpower your bot. We're also going to look at incorporating live human-agent interaction through the Messenger interface. So we're going to get all the value of a bot for simple queries, and we're going to rely on tried and tested human support when required. We're also going to look, as a final thing, at responding when the bot doesn't understand something through a catch-all and improving the bot experience overall. So let's get started building out our flows. The simplest possible application of a bot is to answer a set of questions. Let's build a flow to answer a common FAQ, how to find us. We'll call this flow how to find us. And first I'm going to trigger on the keywords and key phrase, how to find us and where. Then next, I'll ask a question. What's your postcode? Now this is a simple text-based question. Alternatively, I might want to offer the user a set of choices that they can pick from. And now I can send some rich content. I'm going to send a reply as a messenger card with a send a card action, incorporating an image and a dynamic link, courtesy of Google Maps, which will generate directions based on the given postcode, which is the customer's answer and the special URL from Google. Here's the customer's answer. Final thing, got to remember to turn this workflow on, and we can try that out in Messenger. I'll trigger on the keyword where. I'll give my postcode. And I'll be given a link I can click, which will take me to some directions. Now this is a good opportunity to introduce FlowXO's logs. They're here under options. You can see that whenever a flow runs, we get an analysis of all the inputs that were given to each task and also all the outputs that resulted. We can also see any error cases, of course, not if we've set things up correctly. So this is an invaluable tool for analysing outflows and understanding how data is moving through your interactions and for problem solving. So that's our first flow in place. And it's already up and running in Messenger. You can see how easy that was to set up. And you can see how easily I could copy this flow and trigger on other keywords to answer simple questions. For now, however, we're going to build a brand new flow. It's useful to keep track of customer interactions. Eventually, you might want to perform some analytics. You can keep track of customer response and preferences through FlowXO's attributes service. Attributes can act like a counter, how many times somebody visited, or a flag, somebody said a specific word. Let's assume we have a customer that asked the bot 3 times about a specific product, in this case, cats. I was determined to get cats in this presentation somewhere, so we're going to sell some robotic cats. We'd like to make an offer to customers that come and ask about this product regularly. So let's name this flow Product Inquiries Cats. So first we're going to trigger this flow on the keyword cat. Next, we'll set an attribute as soon as this flow is triggered. Just need to give its name and set its value. Setting it at +1 creates the attribute for this specific customer and sets it to 0 initially, but increments it by 1 every time that this flow is run. Then we'll immediately retrieve the same attribute so we can use its value in this flow. I just need to give its name in the action to retrieve it. So let's keep this interaction immersive. I'm going to send a message introducing the content. Here's some detail on our cat products. And then we can give some rich content again in the form of the products we have under cats using send a card set. And then we're going to send a message and send a card. These are going to be conditional on the attribute value. In this case, we know that's the number of times that this flow has been triggered, the number of times a specific customer has mentioned cat. Here's the filter. Here's the attribute value. Is greater than or equal to 3. And finally, send the card. And again, add the filter. Again, let's remember to turn the flow on. And let's run this flow. Looks like Messenger's just a little bit busy at the moment. We'll know when we've picked up the message because our little tick here will turn into the bot. So Flowxo is doing its job, and there we go. I'm given some detail here on our CAP products that I can go and interact with. I'll ask this again. And one more time. So you can see here, the attribute's now set to 3, and as a loyal customer, I've been given a coupon for future purchases in store. Attributes are really powerful ways of remembering things about a customer, what they've told you or otherwise. They can be anything you want to store about the customer in Messenger, such as name, age, or a certain preference. Now we'll configure the flow that allows the customer to contact a human agent directly inside the Messenger interface. We'll offer an option of Talk to Us. We'll call this flow Talk to Us. And first we have the trigger. We'll trigger just on the keyword talk. Talk to us. And reply. You'll see why that last keyword is important shortly. Next, we'll ask a question. We're going to ask for further information about the customer's query. We're going to use the customer's response in a message to an agent. So we'll configure this action, the messaging action, to send a message to a human agent, in this case into Gmail. And I'll also add 2 shortcuts, reply to human and speak to bot. A big thing to note here, in this flow I've used Gmail, but it's easy to see how this would function easily with Zendesk, with Helpdesk, with Freshdesk, or any other support ticketing software. The idea is that the ticket will be created directly inside that software and routed accordingly. You can route messages directly from the bot to a live human agent and have them take over the conversation when required. Of course, that provides the perfect blend of bot and human interaction right inside your existing apps. Let's go over to Messenger. And everything's up to date, so we can just add in our final action here. We're just going to send one message back to the user, a simple message to say that we've contacted a human agent. When they'll get back to the customer, and where the reply will come. Also, an indication that they can keep speaking to the bot if they want to. Turn the workflow on, as always. Okay, so let's run this flow and see the email come through to our Gmail account with the customer's query. Trigger on talk. Answer the question. We'll get the message back, and if we go over into Gmail, we can see there's our email sent. Now, as the human agent, I can respond directly to this email, to send the message directly back into the messenger channel. Back over in Messenger. And you can see that the reply is seeded directly into Messenger. And I've also been given a special reply to human button and also a speak to bot button. These are going to be shortcuts that we have set up in the messaging action. So therefore you can see that by clicking this, I'm going to restart this flow. And we will get another cycle of contacting a human agent. Alternatively, we can break out of that cycle by going and speaking to the bot. Sometimes a user requires specific help. They might have an edge case, or they're just struggling to be understood by the bot. So in our fourth flow, we're going to build a flow which gives some explicit options to the user so they can't go wrong. It's a last resort when natural conversation is broken down. Of course, usually we'd like to keep our conversation directly with the bot. All we're going to do is respond with the triggers we've already built for the other flows so that we know that the customer will always trigger the flow that they want. We'll call this flow help. Trigger on new message and on the keyword help. And just thinking ahead, we'll also trigger this bot, this flow on key phrase speak to bot. You'll remember that was a trigger from our previous flow. We'll respond to the customer saying help to us with a simple message plus some specific options that relate to the other flows that we've built. So a really simple flow, I can turn it on, and let's go and try it out in Messenger. Here you can see the trigger for speak to bot. We did some thinking ahead there, and we've been given a response and the buttons that will trigger the other flows. For our final flow, let's consider what happens when the bot doesn't understand something that was said to it. So we've triggered on the keywords that we think are going to be said to the bot, but we're thinking now about everything else that's said that isn't a trigger already in any of our flows. Let's catch the case where we give the bot something it doesn't recognize and gently guide the user back to the things they can ask about, or the help option which we've just put in place. We can do that with a catch-all. We'll call this flow catch-all. And I'm going to choose the bot and the catch-all. So we don't need to give any input here. Just to confirm, we're looking for everything that won't trigger another flow. So that means this flow will run in the absence of any other flows being triggered when someone speaks to the bot. Then we'll give some text to the bot, gently guiding the user back to the things that they can ask about that we will trigger on. Turn the flow on. Excuse me a second. Turn this flow on. Sorry about that. So we want our catch-all flow, and we're going to turn that on. And we can have a quick look at that in Messenger. So let's give something that the bot won't understand, like test. And you can see we're gently guided back to the things that we can ask about. Now, it'd be really useful to keep track of all those things that are said to the bot that we don't recognize. For instance, another frequently asked question is opening hours. So we need to look at where the bot's not helping us, that it could provide some real benefit. We can use a FlowXO service integration to Google Sheets to track all the things that are said to the bot that trigger the catch-all. Just a quick reminder of what our Google Sheet looks like. I need to make sure I have the column headings in place and at least one row of data, which can be anything. And over in FlowXO, I can add my service integration. My spreadsheet is new flows, quote, word or phrases, new flows, and I can just populate it with the outputs from the message that we get, that we didn't understand. This time, over in the bot, again, we don't understand the word test. It's going to trigger the catch-all. But this time, over in our new flow sheet, we've caught the keyword and the person that said it. That's a great way of analysing out what my additional flows might be. Every day I can check this sheet and see which other flows I should build, which other keywords I should be looking out for. That leads us really nicely onto next steps. We have the basis of a really good bot in place. It's answering questions, it's tracking data about customers, it gives them directions to our store, and it lets them know about products that we stock based on their requirements. And it also gives us a little nudge to people to get them in store and use a coupon when they ask repeatedly about the same thing. From here, it makes sense to answer more FAQs like how to find us, such as opening hours, and give details on more products that we stock. A finishing touch, you might want to add some of the options you configured to a persistent menu. You do that here. And you can see over in Messenger, when it refreshes, I now have a persistent menu. Other things, you also want to consider how you integrate with other services that you use in the office, mailing tools, CRM platforms or databases. Of course, to do all that, you probably need more flows than are available on the free edition. So I'd encourage you to really get started now. This is it, crunch time. I hope you've seen how easy it is to build things out here and to get started. And those next steps are giving you a good indication of what you'll build next. Here's what pricing looks like. For only $19 a month, you can build out 15 bots or have 15 cumulatively active flows. And there are 5,000 interactions available. There's no contract or tie-in period, and you can downgrade to a free plan at any time. Because you've been kind enough to watch today, I'd like to sweeten the deal. Here are links to all the flows that we've built out today, so you can install them right away. And I'm also going to give you your first month free if you sign up in the next 24 hours. You can use the coupon code FREE4216. Don't forget, this video will be online for a short while later, so you can get those links if you need them. Finally, a few resources to be aware of. There are extensive help docs at support.flowxo.com. We have a lively community at community.flowxo.com and a really good constructive blog over at Medium, medium.com/flowxo. Of course, watch out for the hashtag #WhatTheBot on social media to get all the latest bot news. So thanks for watching. I've really enjoyed building out that bot with you today. Please get signed up and tell me more about your use case. I'm going to be on live chat now on YouTube as well. I'd be delighted to help you getting your bot built out. I will be running this session weekly, so feel free to come and watch again if you like. The core content won't change, but if you do have a specific case, perhaps you can build that into the session. On Monday the 24th, that's next week, I'll be running something slightly different from our regular weekly webcast. I'll be running another cast where we look at marketing through the bot and stock and order management. So that's perhaps an ideal outlet for any of you that run an e-commerce operation, especially in the run up to Christmas. A final reminder, please do get on Twitter now, #WhatTheBot, say hello to us. We'll be sure to give you some retweets. Get in touch. I'd love to hear from you and see you all soon. Thanks very much.